Oh, welcome back, my gardening friends. Well, there ain't a lot we can do other than bring some of the materials back that I borrowed from the allotment whilst I was doing the new log store. Get these packed away and then we'll have a little look round because everything's froze solid, so we can't do nothing today. Mrs. K's warned me, don't get cold. If you don't get better, she'll keep giving me grief. Right, let's get these pegs put away. Well, now I think I've achieved something. So let's start in the polytunnel. All the beds have been cleaned out and the sheep's wool is still in place. I'm hoping to grow through this during the summer, all being well. And maybe one day I will double skin this polytunnel, but the polytunnel cover that I had sent me, well, several years ago now, when I actually physically raised this polytunnel up by 0.8 of a metre, put those sliding doors in, look, etc. If you want to see that build, then it'll be on the end screen. Well worth a look if you're thinking about doing anything to your polytunnel, but the blue plastic there will be holding the second skin on. But I think I'm going to wait for the skin that I had sent me deteriorates even more, and then I'll do it then. I've had the inner skin for absolutely ages now, but time just hasn't been on my side. So have a look at the polytunnel build on the end screen. The pond that's normally, well, it is under the long root structure, is nice and full there, frozen solid. And the poor frog has got his bum stuck in the ice. In the middle of the screen there, I forgot to get those potatoes in. Those are the potatoes I planted in 2024. Didn't harvest them in 2025. So I was going to grow them on again. I forgot to get them in. Cover them in sheep's wool. Most of the beds now have had something done to them to protect them for the winter, with either sheep's wool, cardboard, and green manure on the right there. Some of that now will need to chop and drop, as you'll see as we go on throughout the tour. We've recently harvested the old wood chips from the paths. I've still got a bit more to do because it's slowly sinking. We'll show you shortly. But it does look nice to have some fresh wood chips. And we can get this chopped and dropped and covered up so the worms can finish it off, because all the nitrogen will be in the roots. It hasn't flowered, so all that nitrogen will be attached to the roots and our plants will feed off them this year. These are the loft water tanks, now covered up with sheep's wool to protect the worms, etc. I'll put some Grow Organic, which is equivalent to 6X in there. And these have got the wicks in, which go down into the barrels and draw up the moisture, so our plants only take what water they need. It's a real good time saver. This is the wood chip bay. It could do with a little bit more now. It's just sunk by about 100 mil. I don't compact it. I just let it sink slowly because the worms aren't keen on being squished. Let them sort out their new home. Spent potato compost, or any compost that's been used in containers, goes in here. And it's nice to see that 3/4 full. This is the bay where I put the compost that I find with the perlite in, which is unscrupulously dumped by the cannabis growers. I've had very, very little in 2025, but as you'll see on the tour, I've still got another 900 litres sitting waiting to come over here anyway. And another bay with the cocoa koi in, again unscrupulously dumped. I have spotted a little bit more, but it's frozen solid. I'm hoping to add that to this bay when it warms up a little bit. And the compost from the potato reveal on Christmas morning is still sat in the barrow. It's not going far at the moment. Froze solid probably. Last year we had our long beans in this bed here, and it collapsed for the second year running. So I've got a few more of the metal sign frames that have been left out, dumped, not wanted. So I've done my little bit, keep Britain tidy, and bought them here. I'm going to try and create a structure to help the beans stay up, because the long beans do get quite heavy long. So fingers crossed, a job that can be done as long as it's done before May. It'll be fine. This is a low priority job. This is my bed with the golden gourmet shallots in. I should have put them in cell trays, but these are all save seed, save shallots, whatever you want to call them. And we popped in 3 shallots in this corner. They haven't shown their heads yet, but there again, I probably wouldn't either. More green manure. We've got the white clover to the left, and then the field beans, winter tares and white clover as a mix on the far side, as you can see. Now, if your broad beans look a bit like that, don't panic. They should start sprouting from the bottom again, but these are now desperate to be chopped, dropped and covered up. I had a very poor year with brassicas. Well, sprouts at least. We had some nice broccoli, calabrese, etc. The Cape gooseberries went mad again, and I lost half of them, or probably 3/4 of them. Didn't get them in time, or they didn't ripen in time. But all those have got to be added to the temporary compost bins, which are nicely snuggled up with some sheep's wool. And I found that it does keep not so much the heat. I don't hot compost, but it keeps the worms happy. If the worms are happy, they'll keep eating. So that seems to be working well for me this year. I'm expecting the birds to finish the berries off on the asparagus. It's all been trimmed up, and there's the supports and the sheep's wool to cover the asparagus bed. Again, thank you for the comments on what I've done there. I am hoping that the asparagus will push through the sheep's wool, especially if we get more snow and frost, to rot it down a little bit more. But it's an experiment. If it helps me to stop weeding and keep the moisture retention, then it's a win-win. A few bags of wood chips left to use wherever I feel they're needed. And I'm definitely only going to plant a few Jerusalem artichokes. I left in the ground what I didn't eat, and it's gone mad. So I'm just going to plant 3 tubers in this bed. I'll make sure it's cleaned all out, and hopefully I'll be able to eat enough. Ah dear. Due to doing the new posh log store at home, I'll put that on the end screen as a video. I haven't got into the fruit cage, but I very rarely work on my allotment when it's frozen solid. Cutting these, thinning them out, doing what we do to ensure we get a nice crop this year. I'll wait till the warmer weather, mainly for me and the plants, of course. So we'll leave plot 3 and on to plot 1. My old cabbage cage as we called it. Desperate need to be rejuvenated. All the wooden timbers, recycled timbers that I got have now rotting away, and we'll replace all this with pallet collars 4 high, and I'll be lifting up the blue plastic pipe so I can walk either side, make it easy for myself, to make it as easy as we can, and then I can recover it with the netting and do any repairs that are needed. I would have also have done the blackberries, but they're still so green and lush that I'm going to leave those a bit longer as well. This cold spell will probably finish them off. The raspberries, the ones that we transplanted in the middle of the screen that didn't grow so well, that's why we haven't dug these out there. I've still got a few leaves on, but again, these would have been done between Christmas and New Year, but with the warm weather, now this cold spell, I'm just going to give them a little bit longer. Autumn fruiting get cut off down to the bottom. That's all the shoots, all to the bottom. The blackberries, I'll be taking out some of the brown old wood to encourage new growth. Well, I didn't take the dahlias out. I think it's probably too late now, so I'm going to cover these with the sheep's wool at the first opportunity. And here's some of the compost with the added perlite, and that's where I ended up getting my Christmas parsnip from. But there's no room in the inn on the other plot at the moment, so it can just stay here. We ended up splitting the bag, looking for a long parsnip for the Malvern Autumn Show, if you remember. The rhubarb's tucked up under here. It's a storage dump area at the moment. But as we all know, rhubarb will show its face quite early, so I need to find some room for this material so that when it does start showing, it doesn't get stunted or tries to grow leggy as you would if you forced rhubarb. My potatoes in containers are nicely snuggled up within the sheep's wool. This is going to be my new sheep wool bay once we do the new roof, etc. Because I'm finding that sheep's wool's lasting a lot longer than I thought it would. So I'm going to have a dedicated bay for that. Don't use as much fresh manure now because most of the beds are topped up, and the elephant garlic is now pushing through the sheep's wool there, so we know at least the garlic will make its way through. Again, it's feeding the soil and stopping the weeds. Some of the dry manure out of that bay that I'm now using for the sheep's wool was really dry, so I've just placed it out on the beds and let the winter have it, break it up in the spring and then top the beds up. The herb bed is doing okay, and the spring bulbs on the right, there's a few showing through. I thought I'd see a few snowdrops by now, but haven't seen anything at the moment. The green manure on the right is about rotted off. You can hardly see anything, and all the other potato beds there have had something done to them, whether it be straw, cardboard, sheep's wool, etc. Wildflower garden. I don't touch this till spring because there'll be lots of creatures in there hibernating away, good or bad, we don't mind. We'll do battle in the spring and summer, organically of course. Straw bale garden in there. Still something growing, but I'll be adding 2 more bales to that and having another go this year with the 2 bales that I found when we also got the pumpkins. And there's not many berries left on the holly there, so, and having a little look up, all the berries are gone. So I will be thinning out some of these taller branches, not all of them, because the robin sits up there squawking at me. I can thin it out a bit more, it'll let a little bit more light in here. for my new strawberry beds in the galvanised tanks. So there's 2 bags of leaves in this one bag, and there's 2 bags of leaves in this bag, but these were the ones that we mulched with the mower, so it definitely helps to save a bit of space. This bay here has probably got 2 foot still in it from 2024, so the ones you've just seen were 2025, and there's still about 1.5 foot in here what we harvested in 2022. So it was pointless moving them over into here when I've still got to harvest these. Once all my beds are topped up, I might consider it, but there's no rush. Quick composting is okay, but I like to do it long term. I think you get a better material. So this is one of the loft water tanks. See, there's a hole in the bottom there. This is the wick, which should normally be quite flexible, and I put some threaded bar in the middle to stop it splaying out, but this can sit on any blue barrel that has got water in it that I don't actually need access, because most of my blue barrels are all interconnected via the siphoning system. So literally 1 pipe in off the guttering to the siphoning, and that then fills all the bottom barrels, and then I can use my Melif lift pump to fill the top ones, and then any ones those barrels at the top have got the taps on, I can turn them on to fill the bottom ones up when we're running short of water. But these blue barrels have had AdBlue in. I get them from work, quite easily to wash out, and ideal. Cut the tops, cut a bit out. Got some popular videos on YouTube, Google, on how I do that. As you can see, it's really cold and frosty. Thermal glove, but got to keep pressing pause and record. My hands are getting cold, and as you can probably tell, I'm still a bit chesty, struggling to get rid of it. But with this cold spell come a lot of gritting, and I had to do one at 6 p.m, then we had to do one at 1 a.m, and then I had my 9-hour break, and I had to go out again midday on the Friday. It's Saturday the 3rd of January at the time of filming, 2026. I always say that because a lot of people watch my old videos, and then they either end up subscribing or thinking, wow, I ain't watching him again. But anyway, no more Happy New Year's. I think we've cleared that out the way. I think we've just got to look forward to some decent weather now, and to try and grow what we can. This is a hobby for me. If I can get something out of my hobby, I'm really happy. Gives me great satisfaction in anything I do, good or bad. Something terrible happens, doesn't matter. There's worse things out there going on, and everything else. And of course, at the moment, home and Mrs. K comes first. Need to spend as much time together while we can, while she's still fit. And at the time of filming, she's be having another blood test and a phone call from a consultant to see how she's doing. Hopefully, fingers crossed, she's good for this quarter. She'll be having tests every quarter now, so hopefully things will be all good for as long as possible. Thumbs up or a thumbs down for the interaction. Please leave me a comment, check those comments out, and why not consider subscribing. Hit the hype button if you can. I don't think it really helps a great deal, but it's there. Use it if you can. I think you get 3 hypes a week or something, so mine's soon run out with the people who I watch. Happy gardening to you all. Till next time, my friends. Ta-ra for now. I'm just going to go a little pot around. I said I'd be home for 10. Don't forget the end screens.